Hello, and more changes. I decided, the tank's a little cloudy because of changes. So I decided to put down a thin layer of white gravel. Well, it's not gravel, but I'll get back to that. We'll call it gravel for the moment. A thin layer of white gravel to block the lights. As I said, I think I've said, I've got 7 lights in here that light this room. And I call it the Valley of the Seven Suns because they are bright. Well, I put this white gravel down to stop the at least a couple of the lights from reflecting off the bottom of the tank and into the camera. I don't know why, but I always seem to think that it's important to say that it's not a camera, but my phone, my cell phone, every time I mention the camera. Um, anyway, not real important. Other than it's a good phone with a good camera. So I put the gravel down to, like I said, block that reflection that I'd noticed. And this way I wouldn't have to fight with it while I waited for the dirt to build up on the bottom. Well, I like the look so much. Okay, it's gloomy and all fogged up, but I've been keeping fish long enough that I can look past that. And I like the look enough that I decided, you know what? I'm just going to nix that part of it. It's not going to have a dirt bottom. Um, I guess there's not going to be any place for that last bit of bacteria to grow to take care of the end of the cycle, the nitrates. The plants are going to have to do it. They're going to have to consume the nitrates. And if they can't do this on their own, like I suspect that, if there's enough, maybe they can. But if not, I'm not going to rely on that last family of bacteria. I'll just go ahead and do water changes. So that bit of the experiment of whether, allowing muck to build up on the bottom to take care of the nitrates, that's out. I'll go ahead and do the work if I need to. And at some point, I'll have to find my gravel vac, because at some point, to keep the look, I will need to gravel vac to get the debris out of the gravel and keep it looking nice and white. So, yeah, little bit of work, but it looks so nice that I thought I'll do it. So to finish up, as I said, that's not really gravel, it's crushed coral. So for a little bit, at least, it's probably going to put out quite a bit of calcium, because that's how coral is built. That's why there's a lot of calcium in marine aquarium salt, is because the corals take it to build, at least the stony corals take it to build their structures. And then somebody came along and harvested all of that skeleton, hopefully from a dead reef, or it was just all bleached out and the corals had died. So they thought, well, we'll come along and we'll harvest all this coral skeleton and we'll chop it up and people can put it in their saltwater aquariums to help boost the calcium in their tanks. So that's what that is. That's crushed coral. And a few little seashells I noticed. Little tiny seashells that, for whatever reason, they're in there too. So, crushed coral, I'm going to have a abundance of calcium for a while, probably. I also suspect a certain amount of magnesium is going to come out of that. Maybe even a little bit of iron. So it's crushed coral. Dead coral that, builds up over the years, and the bottom is just this crushed coral. Okay, so that's what the gravel is. It's crushed coral. It's white because it was never dyed anything. Thank God for small favors, I guess. The other change, the light that, that plant sat on has been removed. I wanted to get this lucky bamboo back in that corner. The light structure kind of forbid that. Kind of said, you're not going to do that. So I took the light off. At some point, I would like to replace it with a sheet of like plexiglass or maybe even regular glass, should I find like a picture that's sort of right. But I want the plexiglass to go from inside this slip back and, just allow room. Whoop! Knock the plant over, why don't I? I thought I was breaking roots and everything there for a moment. I'll fix that in a minute. And go back, leaving room for the plants to come up out of the tank, but restoring my place to put things. Maybe even a little door right here that I can open and feed the fish. Which means at some point the heater, which is there, and the plant is hiding a little clip to hold it. I'm not sure it should be out of the water. It's a submergible, so I'm not quite sure about it being up out of the water like that. Just thought of that. Maybe after the video I'll do something about it. At any rate, it's clipped to the side because its suction cup has stopped working. So it, needs a new suction cup or, something. So, yeah, a little piece of plexiglass going across there I think would be much better than that ugly light. Which I was, beginning to hide with the plant, which you can't really see because it's all tipped over now. But I decided it's ugly and I'll take it out. With all these changes, this whole table, zooming out, is starting to look nice. But it's spoiled. Oh, I forgot to close my computer again. Spoiled by this ugly pot with all the salt buildup. That ugly pot that I guess it wouldn't be as bad if I simply wiped the dirt off of it. Some of these pots are ugly. Some more than others. But maybe I'll start looking for decorative, sorry, a message came through. Maybe I'll start looking for decorative pots for some of these uglies to sit in. Yeah, that might be next. I'll consider slowly do something about the look of these pots to make everything look nicer. I replaced my old toothbrush because I couldn't bring myself to use a brand new one. I replaced my old toothbrush, and every now and then I'm going to scrub the exposed parts of the filter, which you can now see. But that buildup, salt creep, calcium buildup, whatever it is, didn't want to come all the way off on the first pass. Looks like quite a bit better, but it didn't all come off. So I'll hit that with the old toothbrush from time to time, like at least once a day probably. And that should start looking nicer, along with maybe this rim here. Might be able to get this white off and make it look like I replaced the tank with a brand new one. Probably not, huh? So, I guess that's kind of the new project. Just start cleaning things up, making them look nicer. I wasn't too bothered by it, but when I put that white crushed coral in there, I just liked it so much, I thought, well... And then I started looking at this other stuff and basically noticing it. So if you would like this channel display to look nicer, or like the idea of it looking nicer, I guess you can thank the crushed coral. So that's the changes. I've got another idea for basically Rogers Orchids put out a question, and yeah, I thought rather than a comment, because we won't go into why, but I stopped commenting on his channel. I ninja watch now. So I no longer comment on his channel, but I do watch the videos still. And this question of his about humidity, basically, I liked. So I think I'll take a stab at it. But, you know, instead of in comment form, I'll do a video response, basically. And just give my 2 cents of what I think of his question. Yeah, I guess it's different than anything I've seen in the comments, but I will make it its own video. So I guess is what I'm saying is stay tuned. So yeah, that will probably be coming out, I don't know, day or two. I have ideas all over the place all of a sudden, so yeah, we got some videos in somewhat rapid succession coming out. That will probably be the next one. So, till then, I'll see you then, I guess is how I'll end this one.